Come out of her, my people. All truth is not kind here. There's a bitter truth as well as a sweet truth. Come out of her, my people. I need to understand something. We live in a jacked up system. We're going to give y'all a little education here first, all right? I got a couple of video clips I want y'all to look at. Anybody know what that is?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Real money. This is called a precious metal, and this is called in the Hebrew or the Hebraic term kasef, which is silver, which is, when you ever look at the word silver in the Bible, because you can't look at the Bible, you have to look behind the word. It calls this money. Now, if that's money, then one of those things in your pocket. Let me tell you what has happened. Yeah, let me tell you exactly what's happened. Of course, y'all know probably the history, but in 1913, y'all know the Federal Reserve was created, right? Yes, sir. It was actually done in 1910. It started on Jekyll Island, right off the coast of Georgia down there. Yes, sir. A bunch of bankers got together, went up there, and of course, you know, the politicians are paid off. And so the bankers went to the politicians and lobbied them to be able to put this, not this stuff, but the greenbacks into circulation, make it the so-called money of the United States of America, currency. And you know what they did? From the time that they made that, that's a few seats up here if y'all want to come and sit down. From the time that they have made this, not this, but the greenbacks that we all have in our pocket, from the time that they made that, you know what they did? They was actually stealing your wealth. This thing right here costs the same amount of money to print $1 on as it does a $100 bill. You know what they did? They figured that if we could take the people, because, you know, it's kind of inconvenient to run around carrying around a whole bunch of gold and silver in your pockets. So you know what we do? We'll hold it for you. And when we hold this gold and silver for you, we'll give you the greenbacks redeemable. We'll give you some currency to redeem. So that way, now, if you ever want to come and you ever want to get your money, real money, for the fake money that you have, you can do it. Well, you know how Americans are, right? We get money in our pocket and it does what? Burn it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So they turn around and they gave you gave them real money for false money. Why are you talking about money, Pastor? Well, the Bible teaches that money answers all things. That's what it does. It teaches that too. And you know about these social, political, and religious and economic situations that are going on around us, because we haven't learned education in school. We sure ain't getting it from churches. We sure ain't getting it from churches. So they turn around and they had you to take real money and trade it for fake money. Now, mind you wasn't there back in 1913. You were nowhere to be thought about. But you're descendants of those people who were back there then. And that means chances are that mom and daddy taught you how to do money. Isn't that right? That's right. And you fall in the same vein. Go do the American dream. Go out and get in debt. Yep. Work your fingers to the bone. Isn't that right? And then we're going to make sure you get a job, because we go get you either in school debt or college debt, sometimes the college debt, or we have you to go out there and jack yourself up on mortgage for 30 years and stuff. That means you will have to work. And if you have to work, that means you get to practice extortion. Legal extortion. You get to pay taxes. Because, if you don't pay your taxes, you can't function in the system. Everybody getting this? This is a bad wake-up call. This is a bad wake-up call. When I know and you know just the way that we are really truly free, will we really truly have to pay taxes? Nope. No, we really don't. Somebody said, well, what about Jesus? I already know all the questions. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll get a fish too and go pay him, okay? You render Caesar the name of Caesar, all right? We'll do all that, right? But then, you know what happened? As these years went by from 1913, here we are, been educated by the people who was foolish enough to allow this system to pass. We are the victims. And these people are dead and gone. And in 1970, 71, when Nixon turned around and stole the wealth of the world by making dollar to dollar, because it was already the number one world's reserve currency, but they got everybody off the gold standard. Because in the 50s and 60s, the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you could buy that coin for $35. But for $35. But you had to turn it in because, you turn it in, they give you $25, but then they jumped up to $35 and nobody wanted to take that deal and get it back. All right? But now today, that coin is, where's my phone at? Let me see what this coin is today. Ooh, it's going down. 1677. Isn't that something? That coin is, they still manipulating the market, so they doing a job at it. Uh-oh. That coin is going down. I mean, that coin is now $1,600 something. Wouldn't it be nice if you'd have bought them things when they were $300 an ounce? That's right. You'd increased your wealth from that point. We're talking about the early 2000s. Up to this point right now, it's 700%. There's not a stock or piece of paper in the world that's doing better than these coins are right now. When, Pastor John, when's it all gonna come? It don't make no difference when if you ain't got none. Talk about when all day long, but if you ain't got none, why you care? That's right. If you continue to keep doing the same things you've always done and expect change, you are insane. Literally insane. And the biggest problem with us as Israelites is changing. Yeah. We have a serious problem with changing. We hate change. Women really hate change. And the reason why they hate change, because especially with all these little babies around here. You mean tell me we got to uproot this house, move all the way to all over place and then do this and do that and stuff? Man, I'm hooked for the next 18, 19, 20 years. Some of us got children who still hooked 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's a shame. We got to start changing our minds. Now you got this thing right here called junk silver right there. And that quarter right there today, given today's price, is probably like about $6 for 1 quarter. Wow. That's right. 1 quarter. 1 quarter. $6. You can take this quarter to any coin store. This quarter right here, you can get about $6 for this coin. Now you take a dollar bill to a coin store and tell them you want $6. I want y'all do that. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you that, and see, these things have to be pointed out to us. Because if this coin is worthless, and we know that this is not an ironclad slug like we carry around in our pocket, but this is actually 90% junk silver, right? Yes, sir. If this coin is worthless, what's amazing? You know what's amazing is? Why is it continually increasing in value, and then these dollars that we have are decreasing in value? Do y'all know y'all being taxed half to death right now? Yes. Do y'all realize that y'all are really truly being taxed half to death? Do y'all know how y'all taxes are going up right now? In what form? Is anybody? Inflation. You got that right. You're going up by inflation. And do you think that the inflation is going to stop? No. Not while Ben Shalom Bernanke. Shalom in peace. It's peace for the bankers and not for everybody else. Ben Shalom Bernanke never told y'all saw it, right? $40 billion a month that they're going to buy in mortgage-backed securities. They're going to secure mortgages that people default on. You know what that means? You're securing them, right? That means the bank is going to buy out the land. Just like China been buying. China been buying up Idaho and all these other places. That means the land, hey, we don't have any assets no more. Not because we as the people, we're not producing anymore. Anybody ever went home and did like I asked y'all to months and months ago, get your birth certificate out and see that nice little number you got at the bottom that's on the stock market? Your commodities. And they sell you on the market, pending your labor. And if you have not a certificate of birth, but the real birth, title of birth, not certificate of birth. If you had that, you'll find out all these foreign countries that have stamped you like cattle on the back of that birth certificate. Boy, this is a serious Ponzi scheme, and you got to be a fool to believe it on. And we all been operating in it. It gets even more devastating as you just start to discover more and more and more. That's one thing to talk about what the government's doing, but the churches has done even more of an injustice against you. They just following in the same vein. That's all they're doing. And I know that dime is about $2 or something. Anybody know how much it is? $2.50. $2.50? A dime. $2.50. Yes, sir. I am sure that when you get paid, you can make your way to some coin store real quick, because what's going to happen with silver, real money, and gold, what's going to happen is not that the prices are not going to rise. The problem is that the availability of it is drying up. And when those prices start to rise and they really go up, it's not going to be enough available for people to buy. You know the reason why? Because central banks now. China just made it again in the news. Again in the news. They want 700 tons of silver. That's 700 tons of silver. 7,700. Man! Thank you, bro. Do y'all understand that kind of number? Let me tell you what that kind of number does with me.
You're weak in the knee.
That's staggering. Do y'all understand that? Why come our country, now China's supposed to become communist. Why come our country is not telling us, since we're so proud to be an American, why come our country is not telling us that we need to start investing in real money, which is real wealth? And this communist country over there, it's supposed to be bad people. Was that China or Japan that did that to them people on Tiananmen Square? China. And that's something. China, on the Tiananmen Square. Isn't that something? And boy. And look what we do. Y'all seen y'all right to protest, right? Go wave your constitution in front of this government and see what happens. Tell them you got a right to protest your government for redressing the grievance. Because you don't like the way things are going. They're robbing from you. They're hawking you. They're stealing from you. See what happens. They're going to call the police out and hit you upside the head with batons and spray you with mace for protesting peacefully. All in America. Ain't you proud to be an American? Ain't you proud to be an American? Those people said, I had one guy told me, boy, some type of American you are. That's what he told me. All you do is talk about this country. Well, as an American, I got a right to do it, right? I mean, I really got a right to do it since I put my rear end online for 10 years. Don't I got a right? What do you think, brother Bill? Did you put your rear end on?
That's right.
When you in Nam, brother? Don't you got a right? I mean, a veteran should have a right, shouldn't he?
That's right.
Ron Paul talks about it. He's a veteran. They hate him, too. It's amazing, isn't it? And you're really starting to see who your enemy really is. They try to draft Muhammad Ali and tell him, you need to go over here, you go get in this draft and go fight this Viet Cong. Muhammad Ali said, why I want to do that for? I ain't going to volunteer for no draft because Viet Cong ain't never called me a nigga before.
That's right. That's what he said.
And when he was shot, he was sending a shot across the bow, letting the people know, I know who my enemy is. Here we are 30 years later, 40 years later, just now finding out who the enemy is. It's our own country. Look at American justice. A man would turn around, a guy carrying some Skittles, I think he was, down here in Florida. And this guy would turn, he was walking, I guess he was getting his little brother something to eat or something like that. And this guy pulls up in the car and decides he's going to fight him. He starts getting his butt whooped, pull out a gun and shoot him and stuff. He get to walk the streets free for a while. I don't know what he had now. What's he doing now?
Mexico was last time.
He's in Mexico.
Yes.
But then Michael Vick can fight some dogs and you go get your butt in jail, boy. That's American justice for you. Did I say it was right brutalizing the dog like it? No. But I do put a little bit more, a whole lot more value on a human being than I do a dog.
That's right. That's right.
That's American justice. That's American justice. You got that right. It's sickening. Most people, you have to understand, your eyes cannot be opened up to see what's really truly going on unless somebody stands up and tell you. Is anybody taking my advice and watch Braveheart?
Yes.
Do y'all think I'm having y'all to watch because I want y'all to get charged up and think y'all will get some swords and go beat up everybody? No, there's a message in that movie. It's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you a whole lot of what's going on, what's really going on. The same thing that was going on back then is the same thing that's going on today. And you need to open up your eyes, because if you don't open your eyes up, they're going to continue to keep raping, robbing from you, stealing from you, and then do it with a smile on their face. But if you learn how to quietly dissent, to quietly rebel from the system, then you can end up living like nobody else did, like nobody else does. You see, when you start buying real money, you put it in your pocket, what you're doing is you're rebelling against this currency system. You're practicing dissent, but you're not going out shooting nobody to do it. When you go store food and stuff, just like a lot of Israelites that listen to me in New York, you see them text messages I've been getting, thank you, Pastor. It's a good thing we heard from you. We're ready. Randy went around and made videos and stuff about all the water. These people are giving out free water, free water, free water. You probably don't even want to drink that free water. They call it bottled water. You could have bottled it right out of the toilet and bottled it up for you. He stored his own water and stuff in. And that's something he said, that's I'm going to make a video and show all these people what everybody's doing. They have trained us to be mindless minions. I'm not going to be on this rant for too much longer. We're going to get going, all right? I got to make you feel good first. I make you feel real good. See? Cassette, 37. Is that kind of blurry a little bit? Can y'all see that good back there?
Yes, sir.
That's what real money is. And you know what? That's what the whole world is going back to. Do y'all know how I know that? Do you think I know that because of the Federal Reserve System and we getting ready to tank? Nah, I don't know that. I know that because of that book. Amen. It says in the end that that gold and silver is not going to be able to deliver them in the day of the coming of the Lord. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Most people tell me, look past our gold and silver. I said, what is it for though? These people are trying to use it to deliver their soul, what they call salvation from the one that's coming. Mm-hmm. But that's telling us something if you use self-autonomy. It's telling us that this metal is going back into function all the way up until the king comes. Mm-hmm. Are y'all getting this? Yes. All the way up until the king comes. And y'all heard the golden rule before, right? Mm-hmm. He who has the gold rules. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have any, you finished. Because they're not going to accept Federal Reserve notes. I meant to bring my Zimbabwe $1 trillion note here, but I forgot it. I left it in the safe at home. Does anybody here know how to go pan for gold? Anybody here know how to go get a 10th ounce of gold? Where's that little bag that I had, Brother Jermaine? Anybody? I'm going to show y'all something right here if I can find it. And this 10th ounce of gold was only buying one loaf of bread for one day in Zimbabwe. It's because of hyperinflation. Because people didn't know how to manage and do their money. So now you have people out there, but they won't take nothing. They won't take dollars. They won't take currency. Only this. And this 10th ounce of gold, given today's price, is probably close to $200 right now. Just for this 10th ounce of gold. And that's how much a loaf of bread was costing. Anybody know about this history? Y'all do? Anybody know about the Weimar Republic of Germany? How they was using it to sweeping it up and starting fires and everything else? You think Americans are ready to get out there and start panning for gold? The gold rush is over. Yeah, right. Now you see the reason why I tell people to store gold? Store food, store gold, get gold, because I can't buy gold right now. It's too expensive for me. See, I was smart. I bought this thing when it was real cheap. You know how I got smart, don't you? I started reading and educating my own self. Same way I did when I came out of religion and Christianity. I started reading this stuff, looking at this stuff, and evaluating this stuff. Especially I got filled with the Holy Spirit. That's what called me. Because if the Baptists could lie to me about that and not say anything about it, then I'm no telling what else they lied to me about. So I was on a mission. I was determined nobody else was going to ever lie to me again. Nobody else was going to ever lie to me again as long as I live, especially concerning faith. And that's the reason why I'm the type of preacher I am today. Let me show y'all something here real quick, give y'all good education here, just for a second.
Whenever someone asks me why I buy silver, I tell them that paper fiat money can often die. Since 1920, at least 25 paper currencies have experienced hyperinflation, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 95% of its value since 1913. Essentially, the U.S. dollar has experienced hyperinflation in slow motion. And so it is important not to save too much money in paper form. It is also important to realize that governments or central banks will lie if they have to about the inflation tax. You need to understand that it is not the government's job to tell the truth about paper money. Hyperinflation is a real threat to savers, and the best way to meet this threat is to save in real money. By real money, I'm talking about the only two metals mentioned by name in the U.S. Constitution, gold and silver. Of these two metals, silver is currently a lot cheaper than gold, 50 times cheaper in fact. And yet silver is actually rarer than gold in bullion form. So in addition to defending yourself against the inflation tax, you could also make a lot of money with the white metal. Going forward, there are 7 possible reasons for higher silver prices. Not all of them have to do with collapse or monetary disaster, but these factors speak to the incredible rarity of what has been called the people's metal. Reason number 1, financial repression. From 1945 to 1980, governments had to suppress interest rates so as to slowly inflate away public sector debt. In response, savers began to redefine the nature of savings by buying real assets like silver. Remember where the price of silver went between 1945 and 1980, from roughly 50 cents to briefly $50. Reason number 2, dramatic increases in silver industrial demand. If demand for silver for industrial purposes increased, you would see a whole new price range for the metal. There are more industrial uses for silver than for gold, and many more than copper. Silver is an in-demand element for all sorts of high-demand items, from cameras, dishwashers, indoor plumbing, television sets, computers, cell phones, adhesives, and now solar technology. Also remember that silver industrial demand was not destroyed by silver's nearly 8-fold increase in price from 2002 to the present. Silver users will pay up for their silver if need be. Reason number 3, peak silver. If silver supply is disrupted because of wars, depression, resource scarcity, lack of oil, or political turmoil, you would also see higher silver prices. Remember, too, that in the past, silver production has peaked out for decades at a time. This was the case, for example, between 1600 and 1750. There was no growth in silver production for several generations. Reason number 4, remonetization of silver. Governments and banks used to own millions and millions of ounces of silver, but today own almost none. Might this change? If the official sector were to begin buying silver, it would have a dramatic increase in the price. Reason number 5, gold-only investors diversifying assets into silver. The silver market is only 5% the size of the gold market, and yet there is less physical silver above ground than gold. If gold-only investors simply sold 5% of their gold to buy silver, the silver price would theoretically double. This would happen without any new investors coming into the silver market. Reason number 6, the end of the paper-silver short concentration at the COMEX. The COMEX exchange sets the price of silver, but understand that very little physical silver trades hands there. The sales that occurred there are only on paper. These are called short sales. If for whatever reason these sales were to stop, or if the COMEX were to lose its power to dictate the price of silver, the white metal would move up several times. Similarly, if a paper long side concentration were to occur like that of the Hunt brothers, you would also see higher silver prices. Reason number 7, the social movement wildcard. If people were to begin to buy silver to boycott the current financial system, they would quickly realize how little silver there is to own. If only 1 million people in the world tried to buy $65,000 worth of real physical silver, the silver does not exist. It is not a case of the metal not being for sale. It simply does not exist. People might just respond to monetary and political incompetence by making a statement with silver. You might want to beat the herd and buy a few ounces in advance. In the end, you need to understand that a challenge is at hand to provide for your own financial future. No one is going to do this for you, but I believe that with great challenges come great opportunities. To learn more about the silver story, please see my book, Silver the People's Metal, with a foreword by David Morgan.
That was a good education, wasn't it? Yes, sir. The government will never tell you the truth. It's not in their best interest to tell you the truth. It's their interest to make money off of you. You are you're pawns in that little chess game. You are supposed to produce for them and not them for you. As you produce, then they'll secure you what they call a so-called better lifestyle. Now, you can tell that we're a communist country now because our system is not running the way that it should. Anytime government gets bigger, that means you're right. Starting at the family, which is the man is the head of the house. Women, you're not the head of the house. So shut up. You're not the head of the house. And you're going to have a problem with me. You're going to have a problem with the one who gave us all the instructions. Man is the head of the house. The house will run a whole lot better if y'all would obey your man. Well, he ain't right. And you right? Are you right? Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Maybe if you'd help him, just help him. Help him a little bit, maybe. Help him, church. Then maybe the whole house could be right. Then good. Help meet, right? Help meet. They're supposed to do help meet, right? Help meet his needs, right? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We need to do this. Our homes are dysfunctional. They're broken. But it's not in their best interest to tell you the truth. And they're not planning on doing it. They've done taken away and stripped all authority away from the man. And now the government is real big. This is way big. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to be the whole family structure and the power of the whole country is supposed to be like this much for the family, then this much for the local civil authorities, and then this much for the state, and then this much for the government. And everything is done went backwards. Now the government has all this influence, and then the man at home has this much influence. That's what communism is. And what they do is they educate people how to rebel against each other. So we're going to have to change, make a shift in our mind.